So I'm going to be talking about the difference between operant conditioning and classical conditioning. One of the main differences between the two is that one, classical conditioning focuses on involuntary movements, well, not movements, but behaviors such as salivating or emotions or something that is out of our control, whereas something like operant conditioning focuses on voluntary stuff, so talking or bad behavior, anything like that. Classical conditioning has a lot of parts to it. One of the main parts is something called conditioned stimulus, unconditioned stimulus, conditioned response, and unconditioned response. A conditioned stimulus is basically something that has become conditioned over time. It starts off as unconditioned and slowly becomes conditioned as the subject becomes more familiar with it. An unconditioned stimulus is, as I said, something that hasn't become familiar with the subject. A conditioned response is an unconditioned response that has been familiarized and now is second nature and becomes conditioned. Operant conditioning is basically the behavior is reinforced with either negative reinforcement or positive reinforcement. No matter what, the behavior is going to be amplified. Some of the similarities are they're both making an association or just linkage between two or more things. So you would have a conditioned stimulus, which is going to be paired with an unconditioned stimulus, and it's going to give out a conditioned response. Eventually, over time, it does start unconditioned at first. Some other similarities are they are both learning processes and just help you make some linkages between two things. Hope this helps.